Late Night FAQs with T and D, episode 9.
Is that going to be a thing now?
Maybe. That was from my great niece. She introduced me to that song.
I didn't even get the song. I
couldn't get it out of my head. That was Baby Shark.
Oh boy.
I couldn't get it out of my head for months and months and months on end. And then we had another niece, grandniece, and then another great niece, and so now the song is in my head again. So that goes out to you, Baby Boosh. Love you. Baby Boosh and Koosh. Love y'all.
You know what? I said I had no clue what it was, and I'm actually glad. I'm glad that I didn't know what it was. I'm okay with that.
Now it will be in your head too.
No, it won't.
You're welcome.
No, it won't.
Hey everybody, how you doing today?
Hi.
So what's up?
What's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
What's up?
I'm kind of tired.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day.
But
we've been productive though.
Yeah, what you been up to?
Travel related. A couple of bookings.
That's a good thing.
I know, right?
All right, congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, so we have a group cruise coming up, Thanksgiving 2021.
2021, be there.
And so I've had a couple of bookings for that. We're actually up to 12 cabins.
Okay.
And 30 people.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
That's nice.
And I know that like a couple of people I told that to, that they're doing the math in their head. But it's because we have families. So
yes.
some bookings are for a triple, so 3 people in a room.
Yeah.
Or 4 people in a room because there's families.
Yeah. Because a lot of people think double occupancy. There's 2 people to a cabin on a cruise. Yeah, sometimes you need 3, sometimes even 4 people in a cabin, depending on who's traveling.
Right.
So, okay. So how many? 30?
30 people.
That's fun.
12 cabins.
That should be a good time.
Far.
That should be a good time.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, getting back to cruising.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking forward to
one of our favorite
that.
things. I see a shirt.
Yes, my other cruise planner shirt.
Very nice.
I heart.
I
love to travel. Absolutely. I love to travel. Yes.
Okay.
So I wore this, today because I'm going to talk a little bit about travel, and then we have 2 questions to answer tonight. But, actually we could do the questions first, and then we'll talk about travel.
All right, well, wait. Do you have any shout-outs?
Do I have any shout-outs? Well, always give shout-outs for my jewelry.
Okay, give you shout-outs.
So, my earrings. I actually think everything I have on today is rings and things galore. I know some people are probably like, who is this rings and things galore that she's always talking about?
You got to look her up on Facebook. $5 bling.
$5 bling.
Yeah.
Yes. She's family.
Yeah, rings and things galore. So, shout out to rings and things galore.
So, I have lots of jewelry from the rings and things galore. My dangles.
Mm-hmm.
And this pretty bracelet. See that design?
Very nice.
And then these silver earrings.
Cool. All right. So cool. All right. So you got your shout outs out the way.
Yeah.
Wanted to make sure that we love to support small business. So again, if you have a small business and you would like for us to shout out your small business, just let us know. We'll shout you out. So just like we shout out rings and things galore, we can shout out your business too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what's up?
So one of the questions that was asked was, what is your schedule for your videos? Is it weekly? Like somebody said, when is it? They said, sometimes I see you pop up here, pop up there. And so I just laughed at that question.
Yeah. That's a good question, but it's really hard for us to have a schedule. We don't really have a schedule.
Well,
kind of, sort of.
I mean, I guess if we really wanted to have a schedule, we could do it.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
We kind of just post
when the mood hits us.
Yeah.
When it's available. When we're available.
When we're available.
And that's not always easy.
When we're ready.
Yeah.
When we really have something to talk about.
Oh yeah, when we get a lot of questions from you.
Right.
Sometimes we just let the questions pile up, and we start answering them as we go.
Yeah.
And it's cool because like most of the time, I don't know what the questions are going to be, so you kind of like spring them on me. So my responses are genuine. I really don't know the questions, unless it's, like travel or something that we talk about. Sometimes I know a little bit, but the questions themselves, I don't know.
Right.
So, okay.
So, yeah, we don't have a schedule.
Yeah. When the mood hits us.
Just keep looking out. Subscribe.
Yeah, exactly.
Subscribe and you can get that notification
like
that we have a new video uploaded. Uploaded.
Late night
Yeah.
FAQs with
I know, and I haven't been drinking.
You said it a lot.
But that sounded like I was drinking. I know. If I was drinking, maybe I would be able to speak.
You would
properly.
Articulate.
Yes.
Okay. So what else we got?
So,
any other questions?
Yes, another question. So it says, sorry to hear about your business, based on what we talked about in our earlier episodes.
Oh, yeah.
They said, I can see where that must have been challenging. Yes, it was.
Very much so.
But what has been something positive from, I guess, us being home or something that affected us? I don't know. It just says, what has been positive?
Oh, I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question because everything wasn't negative.
Right,
so
it wasn't.
You going to tackle that?
And we talked about how we've spent a lot of time with family, even though not in person.
Mm-hmm.
Between the Zooms with both sides of our family, we've been playing games. We have saved some money by not eating out.
Yeah, that's a definite positive.
Yeah. We it seems like we've had to buy more groceries, but I think we've still saved more money.
Yeah.
By not eating out.
Eating a little healthier.
Yes, eating healthier. As a matter of fact, and we talked about this. So we watch our videos just like you watch the videos, and so I look at the video and I'm like, because my face is so fat. But honestly, I've lost weight.
You have.
I've lost weight. Yeah.
And it shows.
I can feel it in my clothes.
It shows.
Right. My shirts and my pants.
Yeah. So you guys will get to see our progress.
It's still fat on the screen, but I've lost weight.
Yeah. So you guys will get to see our progress. You'll get to see some of the results of what we've been doing in terms of trying to eat healthier, trying to hydrate, trying to make sure that we stay healthy, doing that all the time. Yeah. So that is a good positive. You're right.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of time to do some trainings.
Yes.
That's been cool.
Yes.
Being able to update
and
learn a lot more about things that are happening and going on in the travel industry.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's things that you're asking us about.
Right.
So we get a chance to talk to our travel partners to find out what's going on. So that's a positive.
Yeah.
So that everything hasn't been all bad. I mean, it has
hasn't.
definitely been challenging.
It has been challenging.
But there have been some positives. We've been able to do some reading.
We saved money on gas.
Save money on
We
gas.
haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah, going into the office, I don't have to do that, so
Yeah.
that's helpful. You don't have to give me a ride there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to commute to go to work just yet, so that's been good. So yeah, there are some blessings. There's some good things that have come of it. So that's a good question.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah.
All right.
And you talked about our trainings. So I don't know if most of you saw a post that I had the other day on Facebook, but actually let me I'll bring it up and I'll read it. Because I reference trainings that I've done. So it says, I was catching up with a friend over the weekend who asked me about my travel biz. I told her that once the cancellations slowed down, they didn't stop. They just slowed down.
Yeah.
I had some time to be on several training webinars and virtual travel events. Some destinations were completely new to me and others I've been to, so it was a refresher course. If any of the following destinations are on your list, contact me for assistance with your travel needs. So these are the destinations that I have, attended trainings on or got to visit virtually. Abu Dhabi and Dubai.
Nice.
Antigua and Barbuda. Aruba, Australia, Botswana. That was really interesting.
That's cool.
Costa Rica,
Mm-hmm.
Curacao, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Kenya, Las Vegas, Maldives. That was a really good one, too.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah.
Mexico,
Mhm.
both East and West
and
Coast. Miami, Morocco, another interesting one.
Yeah, I would love that.
New Orleans, New Zealand, Thailand, and the U.S. Pacific Coast.
Okay.
So those are all the places that I've
been
to.
So you get to take virtual tours of all of those places?
Yes, virtual tours. You get information on, the destination, the land, the sightseeing, spots, and then of course the resorts.
Okay.
They talk about the weather, the geography. They talk about everything. So
That's
it's been
cool.
really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So so if I want to go and I want to take like a virtual tour of like one of these places, how would I do that?
Well, some of the vendors have actually made it so that we can share with our clients, and I'm actually going to be sending information out if anyone's interested, because usually these events are for travel advisors, but they're making it so that the information can be shared with clients. I just have to send out an invitation so that you can register.
Oh, that's cool. So if I want to go there, you can send me the information and I can check it out too. All right.
Yes,
yeah, because I haven't been able to take a look, so I'd like to do that. Cool.
So
nice.
that's cool. Yeah, those are the places that I've been to. Let me see. Things started to slow down maybe towards end of April.
Yeah.
So about a month and a half. I've been, doing those webinars.
But
it's been fun.
Like you said, it's cool. I mean, some of those places we've actually been to.
Yeah,
so
some of
that's
them we have.
always nice. Curacao, Jamaica, a lot of the Caribbean destinations there, Miami.
Yeah, Las Vegas.
Vegas. But some of them, I mean, like Botswana, Kenya, Morocco. I would love to go to Morocco, taste Moroccan food.
I definitely want to go to Morocco.
Africa is just one of those destinations that I would really like to go to. And with so many countries there, it would be nice to be able to take a virtual tour to decide which one I'd like to go to first, or which ones I'd like to go to first.
And I actually have another one coming up. I'm going to be going to Zimbabwe.
Oh, sweet. Now, I'd like to, there was something, I mean, you mentioned, United Arab Emirates, so Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Those would be nice places. But, like, I would really like to see some of the other places too, like Israel, Jerusalem. I know that you talked before about Jordan, being able to go to Jordan and check that out. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places that I would love to be able to see before I can go.
Right. Jordan is on my schedule.
Okay.
And you mentioned Dubai. So I'm actually working on a group trip to Dubai for September of 2021 for a friend of ours. She wants to celebrate her birthday there. But even though it's for her birthday, the trip is opened up, to anyone that would like to come and be part of the group.
Yeah, so that's cool. So if you've ever thought about going and visiting the United Arab Emirates, we'll be going to Dubai. Will we be able to go to Abu Dhabi and check that out too?
Yes,
okay.
Abu Dhabi.
So it's not going to just be...
It's a day trip from Dubai.
Nice. Okay, I look forward to that. I want to see the markets there, I want to be able to wear my kufiya, be able to go in. All right, so that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. So what else? What do we have?
Well, also, some of the destinations are opening. We kind of touched on that a little bit in our last video. But right now, we're getting more dates, that they're opening. So July 1st, August. Some aren't opening up until the fall. But they're just still being cautious. It depends on how many cases they've had.
Right.
And also, as I mentioned previously, some countries are open, but they're not allowing U.S. citizens or even some people from the UK.
Right.
And Italy. Because Italy has
their cases were starting to go back again. So again, they're just being cautious, and that's just for people's safety.
Right.
And I appreciate that. At any point that those countries start to open up and they start to see new cases, it would only make sense for them to shut back down again.
Right.
Just like here, So we're starting to reopen slowly, and as we reopen, trying to do it in a responsible way.
Right. But also there are still so many factors to take into consideration because, okay, so you open up a tourist area to visitors, but what exactly does that mean? So some people say going back to normal. You're not going back to what normal was
used to
before.
be. It's going to be, as they keep saying, a new normal.
Right. So, something that was brought up as an example was the crowds that would usually be at the Vatican.
I didn't even think about stuff like that.
Can't have that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, like the Colosseum.
Right.
Things like that.
Exactly.
The Louvre.
The Louvre, yep.
Yeah, there are lines that go around the block. So imagine spacing that out 6 feet to try to allow people to be able to go into those attractions.
And that's international. So let's talk about here in the States, the Smithsonian.
Oh, yeah. African American Museum. Yeah.
You can't have people on the line or several people on top of each other like that anymore.
Right.
So they're all trying to take these factors into consideration and make changes.
Yeah.
How can people safely still visit these sites and attractions?
Right. I mean, these are landmarks that you don't think about that kind of stuff. And it's interesting watching old footage from when we used to just, go and visit all of these places and seeing everybody on top of each other. Kind of makes me cringe now.
Yeah.
Just because of all of the things that we know now about how disease is spread. And then thinking, it's very hard for me to watch a video now and be like, oh, look, they're too close now,
Right.
So just thinking about what you said about trying to open it back up and saying, okay, this exhibit, you can come in, but we're only going to allow so many people. And we're going to have this number of space on the floor for these families to be able to go, or this solo visitor to come in. So it's going to be interesting.
And some of these sites are going to require reservations, whereas before some places you could just go and see, are there any tickets available, or like we would just sometimes just take a drive
and go
down to DC,
right?
And it was like, okay, let's go. Well, not the African American Museum,
right?
Because since it opened, you can't get in there.
That was different. Yeah, that was different. But all of the other exhibits, we'd be able to go and we decide. I just feel like
take
going, taking some culture and going.
But you can't do that
not anymore. Yeah, and I would think that they would have to have reservations for something like that because of that reason alone.
Exactly.
So, but I mean, that's a smart way to do it, though. Call ahead. That way you know that you have your space available to you. They cut off the number of reservations so that they know how many people are going to be there, and that way it's limited. You can't just show up anymore.
Right.
So, all right.
So, let's see. What else was I looking at this week? A little more about travel as far as airlines and even some of the cruise ships. So health assessments, full health assessments are going to become a requirement.
So what, like the temperature checks?
Well, temperature checks, but also fill out a form, basically give information.
Okay.
Like
what? So what give me an example of what that's going to look like.
Some requirements will be having to get a checkup and basically bringing something from your doctor, like 2 days before you leave.
Okay.
A day or two before you leave.
Okay.
And basically showing proof that you have been checked.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm comfortable with that because, unfortunately, a lot of times, and especially with COVID right now, a lot of people are asymptomatic.
Right.
So being able to go and get tested immediately and then get the results back quickly enough to find out so that you're not going and still running the risk of infecting someone else because you don't realize that you have the virus because you don't have any symptoms. So doing it and making sure that you have that kind of test done in a short enough period of time to then call you back and say, hey, you can't go. That makes sense to me because that saves other people.
It does.
And stops that outbreak from happening.
It does.
All right.
Yeah. And then, some of the hotels are still making changes also. So they have, when you arrive, your linens are in, the beds are made, but some of the extra linens are in plastic bags.
Okay.
If it's a property where they provide bathrobes and slippers, everything's in plastic, cleaned in plastic and sealed.
All right.
You can let the hotel or resort know if you actually want to have any cleaning services done. So, some people may want cleaning services to make sure that it's continuously clean, or somebody might say, okay, I'm in here now, I don't want anybody coming in my room until after I've left. So
you get the choice.
You get the choice.
See, I thought at first when you said that the linens were in plastic, I thought you were saying that the plastic will be there and then you have to make your own bed.
No, you don't have to make your own bed.
It's like, what am I going away for? I go away so somebody else can make my bed.
But everything will be sanitized and in plastic.
Okay.
Even remote controls, they're going to be sanitized and in plastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then I guess, of course, they're sanitizing the plastic too, because you know what they say about plastic and how that. So they would have to sanitize the instrument, like the remote control, and then sanitize the outer plastic, and then leave that for you so that you can have it. And then I guess when you leave or check out, then they go in and they sanitize all over again, and then put it in new.
Right.
That's good.
And then properties that have restaurants on site but didn't originally offer room service, they're going to start offering room service for people who don't feel comfortable sitting in the restaurants.
Okay.
And then also other hotels who don't have a restaurant on site, they'll be providing information for you to get food delivered. Because that's what you want to do as opposed to going out.
Right. And I would imagine that a restaurant in a hotel would also have social distancing practices at their bars. Because part of the fun of going to a restaurant is to be able to go downstairs and have a drink. So some people might want to do that, but at the same time, not worry about somebody being right on top of them.
Right.
So being able to go down there and then having that social distancing practice in place would be good too. All right.
And then even, there are a lot of hotels that provide free breakfast. They have the breakfast buffet.
Right.
So
that's going to change too, I guess.
Right. That's going to change as far as, like you said, how far or how far away people sit from each other. How many people are in the area at one time. They'll probably have to have increments of when people can sit.
Right.
And then also just having someone serving you as opposed to going to the breakfast bar and getting your own food.
Right. That's going to be a little different. I mean, I know that some of the famous hotel chains have the little waffle makers that you can make, and one restaurant has that famous pancake maker.
Yes.
You can make. I guess that's not going to be anymore. I like that. I actually like to see the pancake come out.
It's nice to have the choice.
It's nice to have. Well, I guess that's going to be no more because I can't see how you could do that without possibly spreading a disease. So I would imagine that it would be cool if you can still have that feature, but watch them make them for you.
Yeah, watch them make it.
Because that's like a big kid. I like to see that. That's kind of nice to be able to see the pancake as it's being made. So,
there's so many things to take into consideration. Some people just think, cruise ship or airline. They talked about the middle seat being empty, but there's so much more to take into consideration. I think we talked about TSA before, but just being in an airport. So if you're sitting there waiting for your flight, and that's what you do. You get there early. You go through security. Yeah. You sit and wait. You wait till the last minute to go to the bathroom.
Right.
And then you board the plane.
Right.
Okay, so when you go to sit down, are all the seats going to be cleaned and sanitized?
There would have to be somebody in the airport, and I imagine that this would have to be the case. Almost like if you ever watch tennis, they got the ball boy and the ball girl. They go and they run and they grab the ball and they take it and they take it away after the ball is served if it goes away. So I imagine, if the ball goes astray. So basically what's going to happen is somebody's going to have to go and wash every single seat. The minute somebody sits down and gets up. The minute that they sit down, they're going to have to be standing there like double dutch. Like double doors, they're gonna have to be standing there waiting. Is it getting up? Is it getting up? Is it getting up? Is it getting up? They're gonna run over there and just spray down the seat and wipe it down and then run away for the next person to come and sit down.
Wipe down the seat, the arms, everything.
Because there's a lot of seats in there.
Yes.
So that is gonna be a challenge.
That is
But
gonna be
they can do
challenging.
it though, because I mean, in the airports, you see a lot of times where they have the staff there cleaning all the time. So I guess they're just gonna have to, clean everything. People who clean the bathrooms are out there. So I would think that there should be a lot of jobs coming up at the airport. If you're looking for a job, I would suggest that you start looking at the airports, your local airports, to see what's coming up. Because as everything starts to open up, there's going to be some calls for people going in to clean.
Probably.
People going in to clean. So
speaking of things opening up, here's one more piece of information that I saw this week.
What's that?
So the Department of State has initiated their phase 1 as far as reopening.
Okay.
Because they had to reduce staff for Department of State. Now, for those of you who don't know what the U.S. Department of State does, they process passport applications.
Yes.
So I read this the other day, and I knew that there was a backlog, but I didn't know just how bad.
How bad is it?
Since February, which is the
February.
last time, not even March.
Okay.
Since February, which is the last time that they were really processing passport applications, there are 1.7 million passport applications waiting to be processed.
Wow.
1.7 million passport applications waiting to be processed.
Okay, and see, people sleep on that 0.7 million. Okay, when you say 1.7 million, not 0.7 million, 1.7 million, that 0.7 is 700,000 applications. So that's almost 2 million
Almost
applications.
2 million.
Wow.
Since February.
So if you haven't had your passport, I would imagine that's why.
Well, I had posted on our travel page an article saying that, that it had been suspended, that now's not the time for you to submit an application for a passport, because we also have people who are going on that group cruise that we talked about, who need to get a passport. And so they've asked me about it, and I've told them, it's like, nope, don't send in your application right now. You still have time, wait till later, don't do it now, because it's not going to be processed.
Right.
But even when I told them that, I had no idea
that was that many
it was almost 2 million applications waiting to be processed.
Yeah, like way back in the day when I was in customer service, they would say you have 1.7 million in queue. You have all those things just still sitting there waiting. That's ridiculous. I mean, but understandable.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, because no one was, there to process them.
Well, first of all, you told me this, and I didn't even know this, so this is something that I'm sharing. If you're about to travel and go overseas and your passport expires within 6 months of the time that you're about to travel, then you need to renew it, because you can't travel. So if your passport expires in October, right? Am I counting correctly? October, right?
Yes.
If your passport
it's June, so if it expires
in December now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking from your birthday to mine. That's what it was. So if your passport expires in June, or in October, December. If your passport expires in December and it's June now, then you need to have it renewed,
right?
Because you can't travel.
Some countries will not allow you into their country if your passport expires within 6 months.
Right. So I just think that a lot of those passports were some people whose passports were expiring, haven't even expired yet. Well, they're probably expiring now. Yeah.
But then again, they're probably not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's true too.
Their travel was probably canceled, unfortunately.
Yeah, so those people, I don't know what the priority is going to be. I don't know if they're going to.
Well, they said it's first come, first serve.
Oh wow, yeah.
First come, first serve. So.
Okay, so I guess you'll get an update and you'll let everybody know when they start to dwindle down on that number.
They said it's going to take 8 weeks. I think it's going to take longer.
I think it'll take
because
longer.
Even
that's
though,
a pretty aggressive plan.
I know,
8
right?
weeks.
They said that normally it takes 4 to 6 weeks. It's like, okay, so you're just adding in 2 more weeks.
Yeah,
and you're still not fully staffed. I know. It's like
that
8
makes
weeks.
No sense.
No,
yeah,
it's going to take longer
their
than 8
automation,
weeks.
And plus they have to do background checks and all that kind of information before they can even move forward.
Yeah.
And I know that it's all automated. you know,
But
thankfully
still,
with technology, that's a lot.
that's a lot.
Yeah, so, okay. I don't think it'll be 8
I don't
weeks.
think it'll
But,
be 8 weeks either.
but at least
we'll see.
they've updated and they're working on it.
Yeah.
So that's a good
Yeah.
thing. All right.
So, but yeah, those are all the questions, and that's pretty much all that
All
that's all
right.
I can remember for this week.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, everybody, again, thank you for all your questions. We definitely appreciate it. We love your feedback. We love to hear from you. We want to know whether or not there's anything that you would like to talk about. You know, tell us about you. You know, we'll discuss you on the air. Tell us about your small businesses. Like I said, again, we want to know about your small businesses. We'll let, you know, other people know about your business. So, until next time, be safe, be well.
Be well, be safe.
Good night.
Good night.